Good evening, everybody, and welcome to WCFL DolFans Talk. I hope everyone's out there is having a good night, good week. It's Hump Day. Let's go ahead and bring on our co-host, Mr. Winters. How you doing, my brother?
What's going on, everybody? What's up, brother Papa Paul? How you doing tonight?
I'm above ground and upright. That's all I ask for every day. Thank God for seeing another day.
Amen to that, brother.
Mr. John O'Hanlon.
What's up, guys? How are you?
What's going on, man? How are you?
You doing good?
Can't complain. Busy as anything.
It wouldn't do any good anyway. No one listens.
That's right.
And the young man of the bunch, Mr. Ethan Stepp.
What's up, everybody?
What's up, Ethan?
Oh, nothing much.
And if you haven't heard, Ethan's brother just did his signing today.
Congratulations.
Yep, it was National Signing Day today, so Evan signed at 2:45 today.
Where did he sign to?
Catawba College, since Salisbury, North Carolina.
Hey, congrats to him, man. I wish him success.
Yes, sir.
I told Ethan he's got to get us plenty of film work on him.
For sure.
Oh yeah, don't worry. We are going to definitely be vying for him to be a Miami Dolphin at the end of his college career.
Oh yeah,
I know it. You know it. So, what do y'all want to talk about tonight? I know what I want to talk about. I want to hear what y'all want to talk about.
Shit, how I can get some like fast money? I mean, legal stuff at least. Least. You know, I don't want to get demonetized. We know we can definitely talk about that. But all jokes aside, let's go right in and talk about our new defensive coordinator.
Yes, our new defensive coordinator.
Well, let's hope the guys like him. Let's hope his system works, and we stay up in the top 5 defenses. And obviously, there's a lot to go on. We got free agents to try to sign. Our own and others.
We got to see what he's looking for. Anthony Weaver from Baltimore Ravens. It'll be his 20th season in the NFL.
Oh, you don't last 20 years being a scrub.
No,
Absolutely.
That's a good experience.
Absolutely. I remember when he played too. I do remember.
It's his 13th year as a coach after 7 as a player.
Right.
Yeah. Didn't we sign his linebacker coach as well today?
Yes.
That was where's that? I got it right here. Ryan Crow.
Yep.
Cool.
Outside
linebacker, and we're still keeping Slowick. It's to be determined where what his role is going to be. That's what it states in here. That was just 2 hours ago that was posted.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm excited for it, really. I think, Ravens aren't no slack team.
Not at all. But the thing is, I think the question mark I have, and maybe a few other fans have, by looking at some of the film, and I like to shout out Reason, defense side the NFL. He actually broke down a lot of the film and the system that he ran over in Baltimore. And I see a lot comes from the linebacker core. I mean, that's one thing I've kind of noticed by looking at some of the film. I'm going to do a little bit more research also and see what else that he likes to do with like the all 22 games. I'll watch some Baltimore Raven games and see what he likes to do and different things like that, like what's his strengths is, what's his weaknesses and stuff like that. And like we said before, with the personnel that is actually going to be coming back with the team, because we don't know who's going to be coming back.
Oh no, we have no clue.
Right, so it's going to be interesting on if he's going to keep some of the linebackers that we have. Is he going to bring in some of the guys that he likes? And like I said, it's going to be somewhat of a completely different look of what we're used to seeing with with Vic Fangio and his defense. So it should be interesting. I'm excited. I really am. I'm excited to see because he had them Ravens playing out their minds. So I like to see what I mean, they got them to the AFC Championship game, so just think about that for a second.
Right.
I like what Crazy Dolphin just said about fixing Channing Tindall. I'd like to see him get more involved. I've liked him since he got drafted.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, we drafted the kid and then really haven't used him at all. I mean,
Good evening, Bahena.
What's up with the last couple drafts? You draft Tyndall, we don't use him. We draft Smith, we don't use him.
Right.
Well, you know,
And they're on rookie
I
contracts.
think,
It's not like you're paying them a ton.
but I think part of what we heard, like with Smith, was Fangio wanted nothing to do with him.
Yeah. Well, that to me is a problem. You got guys on the team, you got injuries, but yet you don't want to put a kid in there who's willing to play.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
somebody that wants to play and you're just sitting him on the bench, not getting him a shot.
Good evening,
like,
Mr.
come on,
Polk.
man,
Thank
get
you
in.
for joining us, my brother.
Mr. Paul, how you doing?
What's up, Mr.
Oh.
Polk?
Good evening, Paul, Dolphin winner, John, and Ethan. Congratulations to your brother, man.
Thank you, man.
That's good
Thank
news
you. I
to hear.
appreciate that.
What's up, Raphael? Mr. Shake Money, how you doing, my
Hey,
brother?
buddy.
What's
What's
going on,
up,
guys?
Shady?
How y'all doing?
Yes, there
Living
you
the
go.
dream,
How
man.
you, man?
We're all living the dream. We're above ground and upright.
Hell yeah.
Well, I don't know. Shake might be horizontal by now.
Now I'm always upright, I think.
Well, we started talking about Coach Weaver,
Mhm.
and then his Ryan Crow, his linebacker coach,
Yeah.
and the fact that we're keeping Slowick, but don't know where he's going yet.
Yeah.
Oh,
So let me ask you a question. If the outside if Crow doesn't work out, does the guy who hired him have to eat Crow?
Very possible.
good grief.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Crow's been in the NFL for quite a few years as well. So, you know.
I looked him up. He's been with the he started with the Titans. He's only been with the Titans.
Yeah, he's been with the Titans. He's since where is it? Since 21.
He started
Yeah.
off he started off as a defensive assistant, then a special teams assistant, and then he worked up his way up as a linebacker
And
coach.
I mean, I guess Weaver didn't want Anthony Campanelli anywhere. Even though Campanelli was interviewed for the defensive coach position.
Right. Well, I mean, you guys brought up a really good point about earlier about we got guys sitting here and we have nothing on the field. So finally, we might get a chance to see some of these guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 'Cause
Yeah.
I was Cameron. I was excited to see Cameron, and when I didn't see him or even hear about him, even being involved in any of the plays or anything, the only time we seen him, if I'm correct, the only time we seen him was in that preseason game.
Who you talking about, Dolphin winners?
Cameron, the quarterback.
Cam Smith.
Cam
Cam
Smith.
Smith.
Yeah.
Cam Smith. Like we
Yeah.
only seen him in the preseason games, and that was basically it. We didn't see him for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I mean, no Cam Smith, no Tyndall. These guys are under rookie contracts. They're young.
Right.
Exactly.
They can play. Let's find out. If they
I mean, you
can't,
saw-
get rid of them.
You
Yeah.
saw
There you
flashes
go.
from Cam
That's it.
Smith. I said that looked like he actually might be pretty decent, and then you never saw him again for preseason. And I was like, "Well, come on, man, get him in."
It's the same thing with Channing Tindall because he has good film at Georgia. He's very athletic, and
Yep.
he's not. I'm gonna say this, and I could be wrong. He's not He's not an inside linebacker that can drop back and probably be good at.
No,
in
he's
the
not a
passing.
coverage linebacker.
Right. He's more of a linebacker that can mirror the quarterback or running back and then make his move because he's quick. But you got to help develop him and when Cameron Goody, he was good coming out of college too. So hopefully Weaver and the guy that he brought in as a linebacking coach maybe they can bring something out of Cameron Good and Channing Tatum. We need to give
What's
them a
up,
try
Dolphins
anyway.
Thursday? Sorry about that, Mr. Paul.
Oh no problem. Gotta give them a chance anyway because
Dolphins Thursday. Yeah, I'm
we
everywhere.
don't have that much cap space. Don't have much cap space and we don't have that many picks.
Right.
So you might as well
Right.
try to utilize some of these guys. See what we got.
Absolutely. You know what? You really took the words out of my mouth, Mr. Paul, and you said it perfectly. We need, and like everybody else was saying up there, we need to sit there and see what we have in house. And see.
Yeah.
Shout out to Lewis. What's up, Lewis?
What's up, Lou?
Definitely. I'm excited. I'm actually
We're
excited.
doing great, Lewis. Thank you for asking.
I'm excited to see what decisions that we're going to be making within the upcoming weeks up to the draft and all season moves and different things like that. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what this team is going to do. I'm excited what the whole league is going to do. That's when the fun part, especially when draft time comes. Draft year. Don't be surprised. Literally, no.
No, I'd like to see us move back in the draft and collect a couple more picks.
Yeah,
Right.
for sure. That'd be good.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
I think that'd be a great.
Unless there's a prospect out there at a position that we need, then I have no problems using that 21st pick. But I'm with that too. I don't have a problem trading back.
I don't. I mean, from what I've seen, I don't necessarily see anything that's going to be up right away that we're going to need to use that 21st pick for the positions we're looking for. It's going to also depend on who they end up signing from free agency and all.
Right.
Yeah.
How much wiggle room do we have? How much wiggle room do we have to do anything in free agency?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Well, it's going to
I'm not sure how
depend
much
on
this-
Greer.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of work have to be done on some contracts and, move stuff around in order to be able to do anything.
Because remember, Stephen Wall said this, and I quote, he wants to win now. He said it. I'm 82 years old. I don't know how much time I have. I want to see us.
Well, Greer better work his magic then.
Absolutely.
I mean, they only can put so much money in to sit there and get whoever we can get. And I understand sometimes that we all sit there and we all have our fantasy football helmets on and decide that we want this player, that player, this player, that player. But at the end of the day, you got to understand the dynamics of, okay, if we get this player, how much it's going to cost and down the long
Exactly.
and all that stuff. So,
Definitely.
that's the fan in all of us. But the reality of it comes down to is I want to see what we have in house. And if we can sit there and get a few pieces here and there that are out there where you can think they can fit our system. Hey, listen, I'm with it. Everybody is hemmed up on King Henry coming to Miami. I get it. He's a force to be reckoned with. But at what price? That's the problem.
I mean, it's 1,000%. First, we got to get rid of that $50 million deficit.
Right.
And
Right.
to piggyback on what you saying, Dolphin, if you really look at our running back roster, you talking about Mustard, you talking about A-Chain, you talking about Chris Brooks, you talking about Jeff Wilson.
Yeah.
I mean, really, with those four guys right there, that's a good running back crew because three out of those guys, and the reason why I say three because Chris Brooks was hurt a little bit.
Right.
Three out of those guys had a good season had a good season. So, I'm not really concerned about the running back roster. I mean, you may be able to pick. You might be able to get a good undrafted running back out of college.
Right.
I mean, that I can understand that, but I wouldn't really address the running back roster because you can use that to get another position that's in need. That's how I see it. Maybe I'm wrong.
No. I think everything that you said actually it sounds good to me, and I don't disagree with anything that you're saying, Mr. Falk, at all. I actually agree with majority of everything you said. But Chris Brooks got hurt. I mean, that's just the sad part about that because he got hurt in I think the Carolina Panther game. So that was the sad part about him, and I think he would have definitely helped us out a lot during those games down the end of the stretch. It would have been really nice to have him on the field, but he just got hurt, and that was just unfortunate.
Right.
I don't think we have Wilson next year, do we?
Yeah, Wilson's still signed through next year.
You got one more year, right?
Talking
Yeah,
about Jeff Wilson.
Moster's got one more. Jeff's got one more.
And then we got a Chan on a rookie contract.
Yeah.
And see, really
Dude,
got
the dude was averaging. This is crazy. The dude was averaging at 1.77 yards a carry.
Yeah.
He was averaging at one point. He was averaging
12.
almost 12. Yeah. And he can do that. I've seen it through his college career and stuff.
Scary.
right.
But at the same time, it's like we said before, we need an offensive line to be able to push people around.
Right.
Right.
And I think on Shake's show, there was a guy at West Virginia that was a center there that was Shake was saying that he was pushing guys around that was twice his size.
Right.
And I mean, because we don't know when or if Connor Williams is coming back, stuff like that.
Right.
And I mean, I think we need to look at, getting a center out of the picks.
I'll say this. I like that thinking, but I say this. You do bring in a center, but here's the thing with that. Connor Williams comes back. Where do you put Connor Williams at?
Back in his left guard position.
Now, if Connor comes back, he's coming back as a center. He's not going anywhere else.
Yeah, that's
his
best spot.
He was a top 5 center in the league.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did a great job until he got hurt.
Yeah, I understand that, but it's. Go ahead, Shake.
No, I'm saying no. That's if he comes back. I don't think he.
Right.
I think he'll be a cap casualty. He's gonna be one of those cap casualties. If you can find a replacement for less, why bring him back?
And then we got to see what's going on with Teron Armstead as well. And he's trying to decide if he's going to retire or not, I think. And I think he needs to go ahead and retire.
I think he'll retire as well.
Yeah,
I don't. He's not leaving that money on the table.
Thank you. I was about to say, man, he's leaving that money on the table.
Yeah, but the thing
Well,
is, though,
he might want to spend some time with his family while he still can, instead of getting injured worse.
He's not leaving that money on the table. For him playing 8 or 10 games, he's not leaving that money on the table.
You never know. It's just like John. It's just like you say. You got to wait and see.
Oh yeah, no, I agree, but I just don't see him walking away from that kind of money for one more year.
Well, but if he's been told that he gets injured again, that could be, detrimental to his life and stuff.
Yeah, he hasn't had any kind of injury like that. I mean, he hasn't had a life-threatening or a life-changing injury. He's just had a bunch of little nagging injuries that, keep him out.
Well, here's the silver lining in the cloud with me is that, we do have Bush Baird who's dealing with the offensive line. And if you look back at the season with the injuries with Teron Armstead and Connor Williams and some of the other players, whoever he brought in, he plugged and played him, and they played well. So, the good thing is that we kept Bush Berry, and whoever we get as far as free agency, or even if we grab somebody at the draft, hopefully Bush Berry can have them ready to play. As far as the season start, when the season starts and whatever. So,
yeah.
Before anybody says anything, yeah, shout out to Raphael. What's up, Raphael?
Thank you for joining us, brother.
Raphael?
How's it going, gentlemen? Appreciate it, you guys.
What's up, brother?
So
Good to
let me
have
come
you
on the panel.
on, man. It's good to have you on.
Yeah.
Hey, Rafael, ¿qué pasa, carnal?
Nada más, aquí nomás, tomando, mirando my Miami Dolphins, bro, getting my fix on. How you guys doing this evening?
What's your thoughts on what we're talking about this evening, brother?
I don't know. I have a lot of mixed thoughts, bro.
Throw it out there.
What? Floor is yours.
I don't know. Like, where do you want me to start? Dang, it's so much, you know.
Well, go ahead.
Wherever you feel like it.
Where do you guys want to start? You know, like
Wherever you want to start. Go ahead.
We're
I don't
an
know.
open platform,
Well,
brother.
Yeah,
I think they need to. I think the Dolphins need to pay attention more to these creators. You know what I mean?
One of my big
Go ahead.
questions for the night is actually, you've seen the coaches we've got rid of. You've seen what we've hired so far. Why do we still have that special teams coach?
That's a good question.
Right?
Very good question.
I don't know, Paul. I can't even answer that one.
I mean, he's done nothing for the team in the past 2 years, at least, that I've seen. I mean, and it's been the special teams that have lost us a couple of games.
Well, the only logical answer I could think of is that Mike McDaniel is a Star Trek fan, and the special teams coach looks like Picard.
Well, I was to be honest with you, I was just going to ask, whose dick is he sucking?
Damn, really, Paul?
Wow, how many Captain and Cokes are you into?
Yeah, man.
Not a one.
What's up, Tom?
Good.
All right, that just what the fuck. Anyway,
Yeah, I was like, whoa. You know, that's expensive lipstick.
Hey, listen, you put a lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I've seen some pigs, bro.
Not if you turn off your lights and close the eyes.
It's still a pig. It doesn't matter what you imagine. It's still a pig.
There's a lot of questionable stuff that's on this franchise. You know what I mean? Like even the training staff. The training staff that we currently have, it's from the Adam Gase era, you know? And, I can't really, I don't know what to say, like it's either you want consistency or are you willing to take that plunge and see where you're going to land? You know what I mean? It's, if you're able to make $50 all the time, why are you going to take a chance and then end up selling and just making 20? You know what I mean?
Right. So here's the deal. So if you want to go back on the Miami Dolphins channel to one of the last press conferences with McDaniel and Greer sitting with each other, an actual reporter asked a question about the training staff. And he said the training staff has been there forever. It's one of the best training staffs in the league, and they're not making any changes to the training staff because they actually sat there. Because somebody actually Miss Pam actually talked about this, about the players being injured and their training, or they doing the right training. Well, they said their training staff has been there for 20 plus years. It's one of the best training staffs that they ever had. And they're not replacing anybody on the training staff.
Right.
Listen, I wish Papa Power was there so he could ask him whose dick is he sucking.
Wow. What the fuck, man?
It would be the only question we get to ask
for
press
Ali
conference.
over there.
What type of show did we decide to have tonight? We talking about this shit? What the fuck is going on?
I've had nothing but tea to drink tonight.
Sorry about it. I'm sorry. I couldn't help it.
You sure you ain't putting no mushrooms in that tea?
Yeah, I was thinking the
He was
same thing.
featuring Robert Kraft or what?
It must be the Slim Jims I'm eating.
Oh shit!
I don't know who Slim Jim is, but you need to kick him out.
Y'all on the same day.
Okay, John, just remember that.
That was a good one.
No, but Raphael, I brought the same question up on another platform with a guy named Aquavision, and about the training staff too, because I know injuries are regular with all teams, but it seemed like it's just getting worse and worse each year with us. But just like Dolphin Winter said, if they're not going to change it, then so be it. I'm gonna leave that subject alone.
Yeah, I think the game has changed. So, you know what I mean? Before you wouldn't see these many injuries before, and that's what kept this training staff there, and then not to mention other players recovering, you had Brett Grimes, this guy, was let go, left out there and fishing in water. Might picked him up and blew the sky out of the water. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And no one expected that. No one was saying anything about the training staff then. And, there are other players as well, but I'm just saying the most recent one that shined for us. But, now with the recent, how this game has changed, it's just like how, like with the NBA, to me, I used to watch it all the time. And then it only got to the point where I was watching the playoffs. And then it got to the point where we're watching the finals. And now I kind of just don't watch it anymore. I want to say the same thing with the training staff where, where you're having this and then all of a sudden the issues are coming up and then now everyone wants to get rid of them. Well, I didn't like Adam Gase at all, but
welcome aboard, Lewis. Thank you for joining us, brother.
What's up, Lewis?
What's up,
What's up, Lewis?
Hey, what's up, Lou?
What's good, Papa Paul, Winners, John, everybody else on the panel? What's good? What's good?
That's what's good.
I heard that. Real quick, kind of the conversation that you guys were talking about earlier about the draft and what we should do and stuff. There's a kid. He's a center now, but he's also played guard, and that's Jackson Powers Johnson.
The kid from Oregon.
Well, no, that's another kid. I'm talking about JPJ. I think that should be the move. If he's there at 21, that's the guy. Now, I would agree. If he's not there, there's a couple of defensive ends, like pass rushers, that play more of a 3-4 role that I would kind of look at. But for me, if JPJ's not there, the center guard is not there at 21, I'm kind of with John and Dolphin Winners. I'm looking to probably move back to get more picks.
Right.
But I do think that even if, let's say, the JPJ's there, that guy I want at center, even if he's there and you did pick him at 21, I do think we should bring back Connor Williams. I think the two biggest needs so far this season, going into this season, we should be re-signing Robert Hunt, because you already got the deal done with Austin Jackson as the right tackle. You bring back Robert Hunt, you solidify that right side. If you can get Connor Williams to come back, now basically from your right to your center is pretty much taken care of, right? You could probably bring back Isaiah Wynn on a real cheap deal because of his injuries, right? So we got to understand, this offensive line, they played one game together from when we came into the season. We thought what was going to be our starters. They played one game. They played 47 snaps. That one game, everybody can go check it out. It was the Denver Bronco game. And that's where we ran for over 200 yards. I think Tua almost had 300 yards, and we scored 70 points. I'm looking to lock that offensive line up because I think Butch Berry did a great job, and I'm just trying to keep continuity. Connor Williams graded out as the best center this season. I'm trying to do anything in my power to bring him back. And with that guy in the center, that JPJ kid coming into the draft, the good thing is, let's say you drafted him and you brought Connor Williams back. Okay, that's fine. That kid plays guard as well. So you could re-sign Isaiah Wynn to a cheap deal and now have him as your backup guard, right, to create depth, play this kid as a rookie, or start Isaiah Wynn and have the rookie as a backup. I just think you have to build from the trenches out. That's how I was taught football. I think Papa Paul is old enough. Winners is old enough. John is old. I think, again,
I agree with you, Lewis.
I'm not trying to take a shot at our team, right? I just think the way we've been built, look at Xavier Howard and Byron Jones, and now Xavier Howard.
Lewis, real quick, Isaiah Wynn is naturally a left tackle, so he like you said, we'll put that center as guard. We'll have
absolutely,
and then we can have Wynn for Armstead's backup.
I listen, Shake. I'm with you there. I just think when you looked at how Xavier Howard and Byron Jones in the past couple of years, and now Xavier Howard and Ramsey. It seems like the Dolphins are trying to build from the back to the front, and that's not how football teams are built. You got to dominate in the trenches, offensive line, defensive line. That's what I'm trying to solidify. And the one thing before I do get up out of here, the Terran Armstead situation, I think there's a way for him to, because I agree with John, right? He's not going to leave that money on the table. But I do think there's a way that he can get that money and help the Miami Dolphins as well. Because let's just say, for the sake of argument, and let's all throw our general manager hats on or Stephen Ross hat on, right? What do we all know about our owner, Stephen Ross? He's willing to cut a check, right?
Yep.
He has no problem doing that. So if he
Every
told
Dolphin
Terran,
fan could probably dance better than him too.
and well,
That
that is a fact. That is a fact. But let's say Stephen Ross gets Terran Armstead in a room, and they're just over dinner having a conversation, and we can propose, hey, Armstead, we need you to retire, so that money comes off the Dolphins' book. But when you do that, I am going to cut you a check for the money that I owe you, right? If the NFL don't have to know that, it's going as you're
talking about
retiring.
like Bobby Bonilla, like with the Mets and stuff. Bobby, I don't remember that player.
That's a contract that he signed. I'm saying, let's say Terran Armstead comes out next week and says, I'm retiring, but he already knows Stephen Ross just as a favor, right? And whatever the money is, I think it's like 18, 19 more million guaranteed on the contract. Let's say Stephen Ross just cuts him a check for 18, 19 million. Hey, retire. You can be a coach on the offensive line for all we care, right? We just need your money to come off the books. So the NFL, that salary cap comes back to us, but in token, Stephen Ross underneath the table still gives you that guaranteed money. It's a win-win for both parties, right? Terran Armstead can get his money, and that money can come off the books for Miami.
Well, in order for that to happen, they would have to restructure the contract before he retires.
No, it's a nice little write-off. I understand.
Well, Lewis, isn't that JPJ like 6'3" and 311 pounds or something?
Papa Paul, I don't know. I think those are his measurables. But at center, 6'3" is not that bad. You want to have kind of a low center of gravity. You don't want to be one of those tall guys. You want to be, you know what I'm saying, you're kind of low and then exploding towards your opponent. So I don't really worry about the size, but if you watch that kid at the Senior Bowl, he is the most dynamic offensive lineman on the board coming out of this draft.
Well,
the kid can just do it all.
Not to mention, if you have a 6'3" center, it'll make for Tua to see better.
Oh, absolutely.
That is
so Dolphins need to draft O-line 6 feet and under, right?
Yeah, well you're not finding 6 feet and under. And
also, do we still have Lester Cotton?
Yeah,
I believe he's under contract.
Yeah, Cotton's under contract.
Okay.
I'm just saying, you got to build this offensive line. I'm not trying to lose nobody on the offensive line. My two priorities this season, and again, to Papa Paul's point, we got to get under that $50 million. We got to kind of figure that out. But number one priority should be Robert Hunt. You solidify that right side, and then you try your damnedest to go get Connor Williams to come back, because Connor Williams is a stud. He just is what he is. He is worth the money, and I just think, when this offensive line, even though in a limited role, when they were together healthy against Denver, this was the most dynamic football team we've seen this season. I don't care about any other teams. I don't care about any other quarterbacks. There's no other team that put 70 points on the NFL team except our Miami Dolphins. And that was when the offensive line was healthy. I think that can be a good unit to build on, and that
I would
should
have
be
to
the
disagree
priority.
a little. Sorry, man. Like with Connor Williams, because we're in cap really hell. You know what I mean? I would let Connor Williams walk, and just like how we did this year, patch together this offensive line. If our GM was able to find all these other players and put it together and be our quarterback, which was freaking injury prone and able to be one of the least sacked individuals, you know what I mean? I have faith in him just plugging and plug and play with these offensive linemen. You know what I mean?
Raphael,
With my
but
pick,
that's
I took a wide receiver. You know what I mean? And I didn't take an
no.
offensive lineman until the 7th round. In
No,
my
you're
mock
not.
draft.
No, you're not going to go wide receiver in the first round. And the fact, listen, Raphael,
They might.
That gives the Dolphins
Well-
more play, Lewis. Like if we decide to move on from a wide receiver, we have that option because that he'll be on a rookie contract. You know what I mean?
but you don't go wide receiver in the first round. And
this draft is wide receiver heavy.
We only have 3 wide receivers under contract. That's it.
Yeah, but their wide receivers come dime a dozen. I don't believe in wide receivers like that. I think, you already got 2 dynamic, and they're going to be here. Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. They're going to get most of the targets anyway. I'm not going and wasting my first round pick on a wide receiver when there's way other needs on this football team. Again, your 2 starting pass rushers are probably not even going to be ready for week 1.
No, they're not. Neither one of them.
I'm definitely not going wide receiver with round 1. And the only thing I would say, Raphael, right? If we're going to build around Tua, whether we like it or not, I'm just saying if we are, right? Let's go around the league. Jalen Hurts in Philadelphia, they built an absolute wall in front of that kid. Dolphin winners can tell you, right? That's what they did for that kid. Look at Joe Burrow in Cincinnati since he's been drafted. Interchanging, going and trying to get offensive linemen to build around that kid, right? Josh Allen, look at Buffalo's offensive line, one of the best in the business this year. Look at Brock Purdy with the 49ers, one of the best offensive line. That's just what teams do. When you find your quarterback, you want to protect him. And by protecting your quarterback is not going and getting the Tyreek Hills of the world or the most dynamic receivers. Those 2
teams went to the Super Bowl before they realized they needed to build an offensive line.
Well, no, Philadelphia had built an offensive line even before Jalen Hurts got there. They had a great offensive line with Nick Foles and Carson Wentz.
Yeah, those plays were standing there before even the quarterback arrived. We had a makeshift offensive line before 2 even arrived.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. Why have a makeshift when you can go get a legitimate offensive line?
There's
a
pattern here with the GM, right?
We've had a makeshift line for the last 15 years.
Exactly. Why would you go makeshift when you can go get legitimate?
Lois, I agree with you because we need to give Tua more than 2 to 3 seconds. And the offensive line did what they could, but anything over 3 seconds, they just seem to crumble.
Yeah, listen, I think offensive line is the move. If that kid is not there, again, there's a couple pass rushers here and there, but I don't think I would still do it at 21. I think you could probably go get one of those guys if you traded back, a little bit later in the first round. I think a couple of those guys would still be there. It's just the trenches. We got to build the trenches. It is what it is. I'm tired of the word. I think John just hit it. The makeshift. I'm tired of makeshift. Go get me a wall. Go get me guys that are great in pass protection and guys that are willing to move other grown men in the running game. And that's how, bro, we've done the experiment.
I mean, our GM, our last best player, offensive lineman that we drafted, our GM traded it away.
I'll be honest with you.
I mean, that's
we need some offensive.
You know what I mean? With Tunsil, you know what I mean? And we had a viable backup in center, and we traded him to the Bears. To me, I don't understand is like when Connor Williams went down, we had an undrafted free agent and what was this, Olave or something like that?
Olave.
When Connor Williams went down, we freaking cut him. Why are we going to keep this individual on the roster, on the practice squad, that freaking long to learn the terminology, spend that time to develop, and then when the center goes down, we get rid of him, bro, and then we go hire some people that were freaking drinking beer and eating pork rinds. I don't mind doing that myself, but you know what I mean? Pay me. I'll take the fucking heat down. You know what I mean?
No, I'm saying pay Connor Williams. Again, he's the best when he's there and he's on the field and he's healthy. He's the best center in the game.
Well, he was rated in the top 5. I know that overall. So,
Right, and a lot of the grades, I think in the running game aspect, he graded out as number 1. I think in the pass blocking category, he graded out as number 4. But as an overall grade, he graded out as the number 1 center this season in the league. So, you know, I'm not willing to pass up on that. Especially, I think he'll be 27 going into next year or 28. Listen, there's not a question in my mind that should be a high priority. With Robert Hunt, I'm willing to lose out on other guys. If you can tell me, again, maybe not a popular opinion, but let's say a contract for Christian Wilkins is $23 million a year.
Bam.
If you mean to tell me I'm paying Christian Wilkins $23 million a year and I'm losing out on Robert Hunt and Connor Williams, or I can have Connor Williams and Robert Hunt, but I'm losing out on Christian Wilkins, it's a no-brainer. I'm sorry. I
agree.
don't work with feelings. I don't look at the people's name in the back of the jersey. I look at the front of the jersey, and when I see that Dolphin logo, right, that's what I care about. And I just think we're not in the mode of no more. We're not building around Christian Wilkins, right? And it just I hate saying it because I love Christian Wilkins.
Why
I think he's a very, very productive. Well, I'm going to tell you why. Because we're not building around Christian Wilkins. We're building around Tua Tagovailoa. And Christian Wilkins, I'm sorry, does nothing to protect Tua Tagovailoa.
Wilkins is the Tua of the defense.
I don't believe so.
Who's the best player on defense? Who's the best player on defense then?
Wilkins is the heart and soul of that defense right now.
That's right. He's the fucking motor. He's the grease. See that runs that. You take that out.
I don't know. I don't.
He's greasy, but I don't think he's the grease.
I don't think he's the.
I don't know. Josh Allen begs the differ.
Well, again, see that.
But he only has one. They only have one win against Josh Allen, so he's not really
right.
The difference.
Right. That's the argument, Shake, right there. When I hear the same thing, oh well, Josh Allen disagrees. Well, no, he don't. Every time he sees Christian Wilkins, he leaves with the W.
I was just saying because he was a nut grabber. That's all.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. If you
I
want to
wasn't
be
talking about wins.
Well,
listen,
listen,
still have Zach Sealer.
They grab nuts in high school football. I'm not paying the $23 million for a guy that grabs nuts.
I was in the military, bro. So close combat. There's some training manuals, and I can show you where you're gonna get personal.
I mean, yeah, listen, and that's cool, but
no, I'm just saying. I play high school I play high school football.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. And it was all fun and cute to grab nuts in high school football, but
it wasn't. Yeah, it's like shit. Well, it's like shit talking when you're playing ball. You know what I mean? When you're gonna tell somebody you're gonna pull up on them or you're gonna shake them real quick. You know what I mean? They don't like it. It's the same thing there. You know what I mean? It's just the refs can see it. You know what I mean?
And Raphael, you're absolutely right. The problem.
Congratulations on your son, bro. I will be watching.
I appreciate that. What I'm saying though is right to I'll use your analogy. When you're playing basketball or football, you're the shit talking, right? I'm gonna cross you over, I'm gonna do that. Guess what? All that is free. I don't have to pay for that, right?
Or even I'm just saying, like even calling a play, bro, and just executing it. You know what I mean?
Again, but I'm not paying $23 million for that.
Oh, I would with Wilkins. I can't say that for Tua. You know what I mean? Like Marino is the reason why I became a Dolphin. You know what I mean? And watching that play, you know what I mean? It's not only him. He played against other competition, and like in my age group, you weren't exposed to a lot of media. So whatever came up was media based, and most of the time it was one of the best teams. And those best teams had really freaking outstanding quarterback play. So when I'm sitting there watching quarterback play, you know what I mean, leading a receiver, I never played quarterback, bro. But you can turn around and ask my son. He never got to the point where your son is at, you know what I mean? But I did help him when he was in a younger league and passing. and he excelled in that. You know what I mean? But like, I don't know what to say. You know what I mean? I'm freaking wasted. I'm losing train of thought.
Well, I just heard you say that you would pay Christian Wilkins before you would pay Tua, and that's fine. That's your opinion, right? And that
quarterback, you know what I mean? Like, it's different. Like leading the receiver and catching him in stride, bro. Anybody can do that, bro.
Well, again, but every quarterback.
No, everybody can't do that.
Are we talking about like 10-yard bombs? You know what I mean?
No, but every pass that everybody throws is not hit everybody in stride. See, that's just it's a narrative that we.
It's not hard to do. I was
well, again, but I seen Josh Allen.
In the NFL, it's hard.
I've seen Josh Allen overthrow and underthrow players. I've seen Patrick Mahomes underthrow Tyreek Hill, but we don't bring that up. We just bring up.
No, that's a valid point. You know what I mean? They just, I don't know. You know what I mean? Depending on the play, if it's arm strength, bad fucking foot placement. You know what I mean? The way they should have been throwing it. I mean, we can all see somebody that can throw a ball. You know what I mean? Not with their feet placed right, to a person that could throw the ball with their feet not placed with control. You know what I mean? Not everybody can do that. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, my son he was like a left tackle, right? And he wanted to play freaking tight end. So I wanted to do drills with him, like the drills I did. I'm learning throwing the ball to him so that he's able to catch it. He was able to better. There's different ways of throwing the ball. I remember the first time when I threw him the ball, I knocked his fucking air out of his thumb. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? I don't know what to say. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I'm just saying. I think I just have a higher opinion of what Tua is than what you do, and I'm not saying my point is better than yours.
He doesn't have the same zip, bro, on an out pass that's like freaking 10 yards, or like a hook that's like 20 or 25 yards. He can't. He don't have the zip for that. The ball's gonna float.
Raphael, but this is again. I think, and again, I'm not trying to be, I don't want this to come off the wrong way, right? So I want to preference what I'm saying, right? But I think when we say things like that, it's more feeling based. Because if I bring up a couple names, and I know, again, hold on, just let me finish my point, and you tell me before you say no. Because if I ask you, did Peyton Manning have the strongest arm, what would you tell me?
He didn't, but he had a strong arm. Again,
okay, and that's fine. And he had the same kind of arm as Tua. Tua can make again. Well, again, listen. You're old enough to remember. I know Papa Paul, John.
Yes, I remember when Peyton Manning was with in the AFC East.
Joe Montana never had the strongest arm, right? You look at Joe Montana when he played in the league,
right?
Elway, cannon for an arm.
He would use his advantages on his setup, whatever offense they're running, bro.
Bro. Well, again,
you're talking about Jerry Rice, John Taylor, Dwight Clark.
Again,
there was another tight end they had too, Roger Craig, Tom Rathman. Bro, I remember that squad.
Raphael, you're missing the point. What I'm saying is Joe Montana ran the same offense that we're running here in Miami. It's the West Coast scheme. It was timing. It was rhythm. It's not about throwing the farthest. It wasn't throwing 80-yard bombs. A lot of times he was throwing a 3-step drop on a 5-yard slant to Jerry Rice, and Jerry Rice was catching that 5-yard slant and running for another 65, 70 yards for a touchdown.
Yeah, but this is different defenses. You know what I mean? Bro.
Yeah, it's probably easier to throw it now in the league. Is what I'm saying. All I'm saying.
Well, you know what I mean. It's more pass eccentric now than compared to their. You know what I mean? That was a different.
I just think we
all have to have. You know what I mean?
Back in the 80s, if you threw in the middle back in the 80s,
they were going to kill you.
You're playing in a wheelchair.
Get your head taken off.
Absolutely. All I'm saying is, Raphael, and again, your criticism and you being kind of questionable on Tua is valid. I'm not saying it's not, because I still have questions on Tua too. But I just think when we come out and say, well, Tua don't have the strongest arm, so no, bro, Tua's arm is strong enough to make every throw in the league. Every throw that he needs to make, he has the arm strength to do it. Right? It's
Some
just
of
he has
them.
to do it. Well, again, Patrick Mahomes has a cannon for an arm, but I guarantee you, I can go right now and I'm going to get off, so I'm not going to do it. But we'll do this exercise another time. Maybe me and Shake on one of the Shake shows, we'll do it.
What's the
once we can
longest
start showing
distance
video.
that Tua threw a no
you're-
look pass?
We can do it this. Hey, we can do it this Friday on this.
Okay,
Drive
all
time.
right, Shake. Well, I'm going to put a package together, Raphael. All I'm saying is, you see right
Yeah.
there, you're worried about what's the longest pass. It don't need to be long. Who cares if Tua throws it
Arm
75 yards? But again, that doesn't matter because the facts are, I can pull up clips, right?
If you
I really wanted
if you
to.
can execute a play, you know what I mean? Where you know what I mean?
No. But again, you're worried about the 75-yard pass. It doesn't matter because in a 60-minute ball
You
game,
can't do a 60-yard in the air on a bootleg,
but you don't need to, Raphael. Is what again,
if
Raphael.
it calls for him, I want my quarterback to be able to do it.
Okay, and that's what I'm glad you said. If it's called for,
then make a list. Do me a favor. Make a list of all the quarterbacks in the NFL and tell me how many of them can do that.
Right.
There's not a lot. There's not
Exactly.
a lot. I'm not worried
There's
about
not
the
a
other
lot.
teams. You know what I mean? I want my team. You know what I mean?
I think part of your problem is you're looking for the next Marino. There is no next Marino.
Exactly.
There will be. There will be. You got a Patrick Mahomes.
No,
you
there
got
won't be.
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen is not Marino. Patrick Mahomes is not
No,
Marino.
he's
Neither
not.
one of
He's
them.
not. You know
Neither
what I mean?
one of them
Josh
get rid of the
Allen
ball
is
as
a
quick as Marino
gunslinger,
did.
bro.
And also,
Yeah.
But they don't get. They can't throw it as far. They can't throw it as fast. They can't throw it as far.
In a 60-minute ball game, right? Over 4 quarters, it's 60 minutes. Let's be honest. We're all football fans here. We're not only Dolphin fans. Everybody's going to watch the Super Bowl. Everybody watched the divisional round. Everybody watched the AFC and NFC championship game. Our team didn't play in it. Okay, that's fine, Raphael. Maybe not you. What I'm saying is, over a 60-minute ball game, how many 70-yard passes in the air do you see a game?
One, maybe two.
Maybe one, maybe two, John, right?
That's it.
So again,
That's it.
we sit here and complain about these things like, well, he didn't couldn't do this. Again, Raphael, I guarantee you, and me and Shake said we'll do it on Friday. I'm gonna get a clip and I'm gonna show how many times Josh Allen underthrows his receivers. I remember games specifically where Tyreek Hill was running scot-free, wide open, and he's looking like he's catching a punt from Patrick Mahomes throwing the ball because it was underthrown. So this narrative that
with the Dolphins as well, you know what I mean?
Well, but that's the point. We only sit here and complain though. We make it seem like Tua is throwing the ball, so Tua is the problem because Tua can't get him there. But we also know that Patrick Mahomes, with a strong arm, had problems throwing to Tyreek Hill deep. You see what I'm saying? But we give that a pass. We don't bring that up. We won't bring up the fact that Justin Herbert has underthrown people.
You could even add other quarterbacks as well that problems would happen as well with Tyreek as well.
And but it happens with everybody because Tyreek didn't play in Buffalo and Josh Allen has done it.
I'm pretty sure it'll happen, you know.
Hello, Miss Pamela. Thank you for joining us.
What's up,
Hi,
Miss Pamela?
guys.
how's my sister Pamela?
Hey, my fellers. Good to see you. Raphael, is that a face? I see a face, Raphael.
I know, it's so ugly. I didn't put on no makeup. I'm sorry.
Okay, I really don't have on any makeup.
No,
I
should have got pretty and trimmed my mustache and beard and all that, but yeah.
No, you look awesome. My fellers, y'all look
Lewis,
good.
thank you for joining us, Lewis. We'll talk to you soon, brother.
Oh, love my Lewis.
Appreciate it, brother. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, Tom. I see him out there making comments.
And I agree with Tom's comment. The game is about moving the ball. I don't care if Tua throws it 3 yards, 5 yards, 15 yards. Move the ball, get first downs, put points on the board.
When it comes down to, I'll say this, and I'll say this straight up. It is a part of this fan base that is so spoiled with the deep ball. Now, what's going to happen if we have a team that continually just throws the deep ball and then be like, oh, wow, they just don't throw short passes?
Right.
You cannot have both. That's just what it is.
you're going to have a certain percentage of the fan bases that are going to complain no matter what happens.
Absolutely.
I want my ice cream and cake. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
And sprinkles. Don't forget the sprinkles. I want the sprinkles too. I want the ice cream, the cake, the sprinkles, the whipped cream, the nuts.
I'm all about, as long as it got rum in it, we're good. It's got some rum, we cool.
I don't understand. I don't understand all the Tua hate. I never will. He's your quarterback. It's your team. Root for the damn guy.
Thank you. And just to sit there and put it out here, I don't care if anybody likes this or not. Tua is going to get this extension. He's going to get
a 4 or 5 year extension. He's going to get $150 to $200 million. Deal with it. He's here. He's not going anywhere.
Ron, you said it perfectly. You can't. There's not much more to be said.
The front office.
One thing I brought up too is people forget.
Hey, Shake Money.
Hey, Pam. 2 years before, all right, you look at 2016 when they made the playoffs. Ryan Tannehill got hurt. He got hurt for a whole season. Then people were putting this injury-prone label on him, which he only got hurt one time, which was bullcrap. And then after that, every draft after that season, people were linking us to quarterbacks. Well, we wanted Baker Mayfield originally. We wanted we wanted this guy. So at the end of the day, people forget that Tannehill was getting the same treatment as Tua as well. And
he was.
Even Marino in his last years. Even Marino in his last years was getting this type of, we need to move on from Marino. The game passed him by and blah, 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 blah. So
I remember that. I sure
1,000%, especially after the Jacksonville game, right? Like it was like,
that was the end. So
that was the end.
Oh, that was sad.
But I don't know how you bring hate on Marino, no matter what he did at the end, right? I mean,
I don't understand how people bring hate on Tua. He's your quarterback. Root for him. Root for him to do well. You know,
I'm not saying I'm not rooting for him. I just don't believe he's a QB1. You know what I mean?
How is he not a QB1? There's 20 teams in this league right now that would take Tua as their starter.
Yeah, at least 20.
GM might be fielding calls, getting more draft capital for this year and next year, and right with
going anywhere. I don't know why people keep bringing it up. He's not going anywhere.
We would have a high draft pick because of Skyler not doing too well.
So wait. So you telling me you would rather have Mike White or Skylar Thompson lead the team?
I would I would roll with Skyler, knowing this offense, getting more time with number ones, and I would roll with Mike White, I guess, as a number two, because he's getting paid to be a number two.
Oh shit! Okay, so we got another pick. Oh shit!
So me as a ticket holder that flies to Miami from New Jersey for every home game, I want to go down and watch my team lose just about every home game because we don't have a QB1.
I was at that December 12th game in LA, was it 2 years ago, bro? And that wasn't a really good game in LA.
I was at the LA game this year and it was a great game.
Yeah, I didn't want to go.
It was a great game. Can somebody read Tom's comments? I can see little bits of it. The only thing I have pulled up is my phone and I can only see a little bit of it.
Here we go. I can read it. I'll read it. So it says either root for him to do well or what's out there to replace him now. Oh shit! Somebody switched it. Root for him to do well or what's out there to replace him right now. So option A, blow it all and waste the talent we have on the team while giving a rookie 3 years to do this all over again. What's the point of that? And
right.
Continue to build this. You see what we have when we're healthy. And I mean, Raphael, I understand what you're saying. We all have a right to feel that we all have a right to our opinions. We do. And nobody's nobody's discounting what you're saying, but I'll be honest with you, bro. I don't want to go back to the Stone Age years when we were like 1-15. I don't want to go back to that. I don't.
No. I was there at the one game we won that year in the 1-15. I was there.
And think of it this way. Let's take a second and think. Do you think free agents want to go to a team that's 1-15 or a team that's 11-6 and made the playoffs and has a chance of getting better?
Oh, 1,000%,
Depends on
11 and
the
6.
state tax write-off. You know what I mean?
There is no
Well,
state tax in Florida, bro.
That's why it's a
Those states-
retirement city, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so free agents want to come to Miami. They make a little more money. They're in the
Yeah.
sunshine. They get to take their families to the beach. They're on a team that's 11 and 6, made the playoffs the last 2 years. Yeah, lost in the first round both years. But you think a team take a decent free agent who can make $5-10 million a year. Is he going to go to Miami where they're 11 and 6, or is he going to go to Chicago where they suck?
Hey, Pedro.
What's up, Pedro?
Pedro, if Marino said in the video that he feels that Tua can win us a Super Bowl, then I believe him. Tua will always be the most criticized quarterback in the NFL, in his opinion, Pedro's opinion. Unless he wins a Super Bowl, the sticks will always move back for his doubters, but Tua's stats was the best in his career. This past season and every season, Tua is getting better and better. Them doubters won't give Tua props for him starting all 17 games when they said Tua couldn't. Tua is here for the next few years, whether the Tua doubters like it.
That's right. He's here. He's not going anywhere.
Bar from Mahomes, Allen, Jackson, Burrow, maybe can add Stroud up there, and Dak. Who else is even better? Quarterbacks just don't grow on trees, especially one that's built around the skill set with the coach and skilled players who believe in him. Give him more than 22.1 seconds, and I'd love to see what happens. Need your beef healthy late in the season, and Mike needs to run the damn ball.
I totally agree.
And if I can comment on the back of that, so he is so right in what he's been saying, Tom is. So one of the things is
Pedro there.
No, that was
the first
Tom
part
and
was
Pedro.
it was the first one was
Okay.
Pedro and the second one was Tom. So
I'm sorry.
Tom, and they're both right. I agree with both of them, and I agree with all of Tom's comments, because the thing is when I look at Mahomes, I mean, I'm sorry, I watched pretty much every game that Kansas City played, and if we had half the calls that Kansas City got, Tua is winning 3 more games at least. I'm just telling you, I look at the stuff that Mahomes got, the holding, the things that he got when he's running free, and I'm just watching it going, oh my gosh. So the love that Mahomes gets from the NFL, if Tua got half of that, he wins 2 or 3 more games easily.
What's funny, Pam? There's somebody out there saying the same thing about Tua as well.
Right.
Well, but it's not true. I mean, I can look at those games. It's not true.
Pam, you can say that, hon, but there's plenty of people that watch their team and say this call was missed, that was missed. Look at
Tom,
the.
I mean, John, I agree. When I look at other teams that got screwed in games repeatedly, just the last 2 weeks of the season, I watched it. Didn't y'all? Didn't you see teams?
I can show you about 4 or 5 penalties in the Baltimore Kansas City game that were not called on Baltimore that should have been.
I could too. That was definitely a sweet. I mean, the thing is it's like, okay, so bad calls, yep, they happen all the time, all over. But when it's a pattern for a team, hello Philadelphia, hello Kansas City. When I look at some of the games, Pittsburgh got screwed to the wall on a game. So did Tampa Bay, got screwed to the wall there at the end. I mean, it's just wrong. Just do your damn job. Let the games come out as they come out. Let them happen naturally the way they happen. If you miss a call, no big deal. If you're missing a call, hello, Philadelphia. I mean, come on. Philadelphia stunk most of the season. The only thing they had was the tush push. They stunk. Come on. They should have lost 3 or 4 more games than what they lost.
Okay, Buffalo just lost a couple games with no calls at the end of the game. It doesn't matter. At the end of the year, it's wins, losses, get in the playoffs, and do what you can do.
But
and Pam, and then Pam, didn't you know we had this conversation on this platform in the beginning of the season, and we're talking about preseason, and didn't I tell you that officiating was going to be a part of some of the decisions of these games?
I know. It's been a part. It's been a part.
It's
but
not a
this
surprise.
season,
Don't get me wrong. It's not a surprise. It's not.
It's not a surprise.
This season, it was a bigger part than it's ever been.
I don't know if anyone else saw it. I saw it recently, and it could have been from earlier this year. It could have been from last year for all I know, where a coach is sitting there talking to the ref right before a play starts off and tell him to watch this player. He's going to grab this guy because he can't keep up with him. And, of course, it happened, but the coach was telling the ref was what was going to happen. So it was quite obvious it needed to be called, but the coach was telling him to make sure he watches it, doesn't miss it.
Every coach does that.
I think that was Bill Belichick. Papa.
Every coach does it.
No, I don't see McDaniel over there. I don't see McDaniel over there. Belichick did it a bunch, didn't he? Yep.
No, what I'm saying is that it was a I think I'm trying to remember what game that was where the Patriots were playing and Bill Belichick was telling the ref that his players were being held or something, getting away with, the other team was getting away with holding or something, and the referees didn't really pay Bill Belichick that much mind and what have you. But to me, as far as officiating go, I've seen some bad games, I've seen some good, but I will admit that toward the middle of the season, I haven't seen as much bad calls as it was last season, because last season was a mess. That was the worst season I've seen in years of bad calls. But the thing is, even with the referees out making bad calls, the teams the coaches and the players have to pull themselves together to overcome the bad calls, because you're going to have them, because it's just a part of football.
True, but when you have a team like Philly getting no yards, not 1 yard for an entire game, and they're just throwing crap on us over and over, I mean, I'm sorry, that is absurd. And we all watched that game. You cannot tell me that game was called remotely fair. Okay, they missed some calls.
It wasn't. We were there.
We were there.
It was horrendous.
We went over this, Pam, and yeah, it is horrendous. But the past is the past. There's nothing we can do about it.
Bull crap. Fix it. Fix it.
Fix it.
No, the team
has nothing. I'm gonna say this.
That's the only way to fix it.
There is no way to fix it.
They have to find a way to overcome it. When
you
have to find a way.
The way I'm looking at it is, at the end of the day, is this, ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of the day. Until the NFL decides to hire full-time referees, you're going to have the same problem every week with every different umpire every single week. That's just what it is.
Do you really think that's all it is, though, Dolphins winners? Because I don't think that's all it is. When you get guys on the field, they're just calling crap. There were things called against us that in all my years I have never seen before.
Pam, these people are like doctors, lawyers, attorneys,
paid off.
Like that's what it comes down to. So what I'm saying to you is, these people have regular everyday jobs, plus they do this. So until they actually have full-time refs, you're going to have this.
I understand your point, though, but when you make up
you can literally throw a flag on every single play.
No, 1,000 times. I'm not talking about that, John. I'm not talking about that kind of thing, because you could throw holding. The thing is you have a set of how you're going to call it. But when you're calling it one way for one team and a different way for another team, excuse me, somebody explain to me how Mahomes gets a free timeout for his little costume malfunction, and that's how I'm going to call it, because that just pissed me off so bad. He doesn't have to sit out a play. They don't have to take a timeout. Nothing. And he didn't even hurry up. There was no hurry. He's over there. He had time to have a snack and a drink and, get a foot rub. I mean, that was, when have you ever seen that? Never seen
Listen,
it.
there's a ton of calls during the year that we could all talk about, but now we're in the off season. We're looking forward to next season. I'm not worried about what happened last year.
Until they fix that crap, John, I can't look forward to anything until they fix crap like that.
But they're not going to fix
Why
it.
is Mahomes and Andy Reid pitching a fit over a call that they both know was a good call against them? And the next thing you know, here comes some stupid ass flag for no reason because they pitched a fit. I mean,
The NFL is about money. They're a money-making
Yep.
machine. They make
Now,
billions
there
every
you go.
year. They're not
Yep.
fixing it. As long as we keep going to games, as long as we keep buying
There
memorabilia,
you go.
as long as we keep rooting and paying for subscriptions, it's not going to change.
Now, that I can get on board with because you're 1,000% right. But don't look at me and tell me I don't see what I'm seeing and that
I'm not-
everything is
I'm
all
not-
hunky dory,
No,
because it
no one,
doesn't.
no one,
No,
no one
nobody's
said.
saying that. But we can't do anything about it. And now we're talking preseason or, our postseason and
Off-season,
free
right.
agent, off season.
Yep.
We can't go back and
I'm
change the
still
game.
mad, John. I'm
I
still mad.
give a good example, Pamela. Ever since we had Jalen Phillips on our team, and he's gotten better and better, and I've seen a lot of plays where he was being held, and I was just
Oh,
screaming
yeah.
to the top of the voice that he was being held, and I think it also kind of had an effect on his stats as far as rushing and sacking. But the thing is that it's nothing that you can really do about that, but find a way to overcome it and what have you. Because the referees going, I mean, they're going to do what they want to do anyway, and we can't
Yep.
really, you can't really change that. But
Yeah.
that's why I say
Well,
no.
if
Go
it's
ahead.
I remember watching games where Cameron Wake was wearing offensive linemen as jewelry, and
Yep.
he overcame that.
Yep.
hmm
But you know, the
Real
thing is,
quick. I just want to. I agree with Tom here. Another issue we have with this team is when one thing goes wrong, it snowballs and they let it affect them. Especially when another mistake or something happens, it compounds. It not all the time, but y'all saw it a lot late in games. They let the emotions get to all of them all at the same time. You can see it like sand slipping through hands.
yep. And he's right about that too. And I can point the finger straight at our coach, because when everything is clicking great on offense, he is over there having an amazing time. He is so excited. He is so amped up. Well, whenever things are not clicking and not going right, you don't need to get over there and get slinky and get quiet. You need to get pissed off and get your head in the daggum game and call a better game. Why are you not having as much fun and as much intensity when it's not going great, or as you are when it's going great? That's what a competitor does. A competitor looks at stuff and goes, you know what? I ain't taking that. I'm going for it.
We're okay. I understand, Pam, but we've been trying to talk about the coaches we've hired, what we let go, and our upcoming draft and everything. And we've been going on that, and that's what Lewis and Raphael was talking about for quite a bit on what we should do. And I mean, I agree with a lot of people. If we can drop back a few spots to get extra picks, I think we should definitely do it.
But also, let's make sure we see what we have on our roster and you try to utilize and see what we have with the guys on our roster. We got guys like on as far as now. If there's talk about, if we don't know what's going to happen with Wilkins, we still have Brandon Peely, who's a rookie. We still have a couple other guys that are defensive tackles. We need to see what we have with our
Yeah,
roster.
we
And
got to see
I'm
what we
not
have with
saying
our roster, who we retain from the free agencies, who we let skip. You know, we got
I'm
to
not
look at all that.
right because I'm not
Ladies and
saying
gentlemen,
that.
but can our GM make a better roster this coming season from what we had this previous season,
If you
knowing
look,
all the
if,
turnover?
but if you look at our roster going into this season, we were all pretty happy with the depth. We were pretty happy with who we had.
And if you look specifically at the defensive roster, I mean, those guys, that was the part of the team that was decimated in injury. That is the part of the team that guy after guy stepped up because the defense kept us in every game, especially from the second half of the season. So when I look at that defensive roster, I think, man, you better deal with your anchors because our anchor players are important. And some of these young guys that went in there and, you know, played lights out. It was next man up through what, three layers, at least 3 layers of players. So our defensive side of the ball, I just don't have any complaints about. It's the offensive side of the ball and not the talent. It's not the talent. I think it's not being used as it should be used.
I agree.
Well, we got to wait and see who we still have.
Right.
You know,
That's right.
it's a wait and
Yeah.
see game. Y'all out there on YouTube, please hit the like button. It helps us out a lot. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed.
And if for no other reason, if you think I'm wrong, hit the like button.
They're like, Pam, what the hell? What the hell, Pam? What the hell? No, I'm playing with you.
All right. It's that time, guys. I gotta get going. I gotta be up early.
Yep.
Brother, you take care,
So-
man. It's always a
Take
pleasure.
care,
man.
John.
Big time love,
and fins
John.
up, brother.
Peace, love, and fins up.
Peace, love, and fins up, John.
Nah, but we gotta really check out. We gotta really kick the tires on our, all these guys on our roster.
Yeah.
That's what we need to do.
Yeah.
Because we're not going to have too much cap space. And I'm not trying to be negative. No, I'm not being negative. I'm looking at now. This time I can say I can look at the stat. We are ranked 31 as far as cap space go.
Yeah.
So we need to kick the tires on some of these guys on the roster, see what we have, bring in what we can bring in, and what have you. But try to utilize these players. Don't just have them stand on the sidelines like Chase Claypool. And standing on the sideline, looking like he wants to get in. We got to start spreading the ball around on offense. You got to spread the ball around. Utilize all your wide receivers. Utilize your tight ends. You know, and
I
what have
agree
you.
1,000%.
Develop more plays for. Don't just develop plays for Waddle and Tyreek. Develop plays for these other guys.
Yeah.
And stick with the running game.
2-1
Stick
That's
player
what made
centric.
us great.
Especially when it's working.
Yeah. That's what made us great. When we had
I'm going to go back to what Tom had said. He's not worried about the cap. We're going to get almost $19 million on March 1st with the cap going up. Ogba, you know, is another 17 down to 15 without any other of the 20 decision to make. A lot of little contracts help too. Crossan $2 to $3 million, Seaton Carter $2 million. So we'll get back down to where we got to go, but Greer's still going to have to work magic with other contracts and everything like he's been doing in the past years.
Aren't we stuck some though with Ogba? Aren't we stuck with some money on that no matter what we do with him?
We're stuck with money on several people no matter what we do with them.
No matter what we do, right?
But
So
you know,
bad.
that's where they become a post June 1st release and stuff, which saves us more money. We're going to be stuck. It's every team has the same agenda when they play around with their contracts and the cap and everything like we do. You're going to lose money no matter what at one time or another.
Yeah.
Especially if the guys don't perform and you have to release them. you're going to lose some money. So but if you go post June 1st, instead of losing, 13 million, you might only lose 5.
That's a
Right,
lot of
right.
money to lose.
That's a lot of money. Yeah.
But
Right.
you're getting
you know
A
7
lot of
million.
money, bro. That's a big
but-
fucking change, bro.
But
I
you're
find a
getting 8
penny and I
million.
fucking just
But
about
you're
won the
getting-
lottery.
You got to. I understand that, but you got to look at the fact of you're getting 8 million back for the cap space.
It's true. Right.
Or do you want to spend the whole 13 million on a guy that cannot perform?
Well, the thing we got to keep in mind too, because sometimes I keep forgetting, is that when Greer took over from Tannenbaum, he had to straighten out our cap space because we had overpaid a whole bunch of players,
Mhm.
and we were in cap hell, but he brought us out of that. So sometimes I keep forgetting about that, and maybe he can work his magic.
And that's what he's been doing over the years. He's been getting
Right.
us back to where we need by working his magic with the contracts.
Congrats, MCJB.
MCJB.
Floridian now. I don't know if you guys seen that in the chat.
Yeah.
What did he say?
Hey y'all, I'm officially a Floridian.
Oh,
I
MCJB,
expect
JB,
extreme hate
anybody.
from Floridians. So I'm just saying, he needs to go through an NDOC. You know what I mean? All Floridians need to issue that.
I've been Floridian.
Yeah, I was born and raised there. I was born and
What part-
raised.
what part of
My
Florida is-
documents are all in line.
My wife is a 5th generation Floridian.
I'm a sixth
I wasn't born in
generation
Florida,
Floridian.
but I
I'm not
grew up
trying
in
to one up her.
Florida.
I really am saying.
I moved around a lot after I graduated high school, but I've come and gone, but I've always supported my Dolphins no matter where I lived.
Where's the cheapest spot to move? I've been looking in Tampa just so I can be closer to the Dolphins.
No,
Or
Tampa's
just
way
stay
too
where I'm at.
expensive. You
Tampa's
don't wanna-
expensive. There is no place not expensive.
the
I would have
Tampa
said
is too
here where I
expensive.
am, but
I saw
no,
Tallahassee,
it's
but I
all
don't know.
expensive now.
If you
Tampa
want,
is too expensive.
Arcadia's pretty cheap.
I want to be on the
Arcadia.
country so that way I can shoot them before they can hear the cops coming.
Well,
Well,
that's
then you
definitely
wanna-
out here.
you
There's
wanna
lots of
look-
gunfire out here.
You want to look around North Brooksville, Floral City, over towards Ocala, anywhere between Brooksville and Ocala, really.
Good to go.
What part of Florida
I
is
talked to a
MCJB
realtor,
living in?
so he's supposed to shoot me back some stuff that I'm looking for. But I'll make sure I look over there in Ocala because the area I was looking at was like 2.5 hours away from the Dolphin Stadium. So
Oh,
just
well,
let you know.
You're better off going with that then.
I'm
Say
three
again?
and a half hours,
It's
3
5
hours.
Between here and Ocala, you're looking at 5.5 hours.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
way too far. Yeah, that's way too
Yeah.
much. You know what I
I
mean?
drive it to every home game.
The closer
Well,
you get,
I
though,
don't mind carpooling, but if that's the case, and if you're throwing it out there, you know what I mean? If it's gonna save me some money,
Well,
I don't
won't.
care, you know?
No, there's some games I end up missing because I go cruising. I get my cheap cruises during football season.
That's what I'm talking about, bro.
Dolphin Winters will carpool with you. That's one heck of a drive right there.
That's a hell of a drive. I don't think I'm driving from Philly all the way down there. I'm not doing that.
I'm
we
down.
can do it in
I always
one
wanted
night.
to go to Philly, bro.
Hey, listen, man. Whatever you want to come through, let me know.
Winners, we can do it in one night.
Shoo! That's a hell of a drive, bro.
That's pedal to the metal.
I used to drive from west of Houston to Tampa in 16 hours.
Oof.
How?
Oof.
What's the speed?
Just
What do you?
I
About
did
90, 100?
Pittsburgh to here in
I'm just
16 hours.
I stop for gas, and when I stop for gas, I get a drink and go pee, and that's it.
20-ounce bottom restroom breaks or what?
Yep.
There you go.
I don't eat when I'm driving any type of distance.
Yeah, because that means more stops.
With me, if I eat, I'm ready for a nap.
Yeah, that's a problem.
That's the other part.
No, I don't know. You got to plan your
Stop and
stops.
sleep.
I'm more about the time. Like what
Yeah.
kind of time I made and gas mileage. Like you don't need to pee. Let's go. Just keep going.
No, I never went
I'm
over
gonna follow the
75.
truckers. They'll let me know.
Yeah.
No,
I never
family,
I'm
went
the
over
world's
75
worst.
when I was driving.
family, I love you, my sister, but when nature
Depending on what
calls,
state
nature
you're in, bro,
calls.
when you're driving. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Well, if you're west of Texas, the speed limit's 80. So you can do
You're
85,
okay. Like
90.
in Arizona,
okay,
you're
that's
talking
cool.
about 75. California, you're talking about 70. It all depends in the area where you're at. You know what I mean?
Well, like I said,
It's
west of
70
Texas,
here,
the speed
but
limit's 80,
No,
so you can do 85,
about
90.
75.
Texas is
About
ruthless. I
75,
remember
95.
driving through there with an outer state plates. They just that
they
guy
were
followed me for a
blessed.
very long time, and I'm pretty sure he ran all my information, and then my
Oh,
military
coppers, you
background
mean?
came up.
Oh, yeah.
So you know what I mean. He probably wanted to try to get me for something. You know what I mean?
They'll do
Well,
that to you in Georgia too.
Yeah.
They
one
don't
time,
like nobody
Oh, I
going.
didn't care through Texas. You know what I mean? I just watched them. You know what I mean? He paced me for a long distance. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
See,
like,
unlike my brother, no matter where he's driving to, he's doing 85, 90 all the way.
I'm
it all depends.
but
It all depends. You got to read traffic. You know what I mean? And
not.
like, you know what I mean?
He
no,
does
Depending
it
on what
all.
state you're at.
He does 85, 90 from Tennessee down to Florida or Tennessee to
Mm,
Georgia,
no, but
and he
some
lives
years
over in
back,
Memphis.
but years
mm,
back, the speed limit used to be 55. And
55.
if you went
Yeah.
above that, believe you me, the highway patrol would be on your behind.
Oh yeah,
That's
and
for sure.
these days they
But
don't care if you speed. I
that,
don't know
yeah,
why we have
They
exactly.
It all
do.
depends.
They
It all depends
do.
where you're at.
They'll get you
Like
over
I'm in a
80.
rural area, bro, in Arizona. You know what I mean? And
I
like
understand. I lived
like
out in
the highways
Arizona
I'm
for
going
3
through,
years.
some of the highways intersect some small cities, so there's a speed change in between that, and sometimes it's like a fix. But because we're in a rural area, you know what I mean, like you can get away with certain stuff. You know what I mean, like
I know. I lived in
I
Tucson for 3
was,
years.
you know what I mean, like for myself, you know what I mean, I was in an infantry unit. You know what I mean, I didn't have a combat experience. So when they see my infantry unit, I can shoot the shit with them because some of these guys are like ex-military that did something else in the military, so they kind of know, you know what I mean. So they kind of give me a pass, and I gotta, you know what I mean. It's a little fucking
Well,
free pass go shit kind of.
Should be a little free pass.
We appreciate your service, Raphael, but I'm going to call it a
Not
night for the
correct.
show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Say again.
I'm going to call it a night for the show. Any
All right.
last words, Shake?
Oh no, just appreciate you and fins up. That's it.
Appreciate you, Shane. Peace, love.
Appreciate you,
I
Shane.
know you got something else there,
Too, my
Shake.
brother.
He does. He's plotting and planning. You know he is. He's the big old spoon.
I have nothing. We're moving off Wilkins. I have nothing else to say.
You have a good
I
night,
told
brother.
you.
Peace, love,
Big
and
spoon
love.
award. There you go. Big
Peace, love,
spoon award.
money.
Peace, love, and
Love,
my brother.
love you, Shake.
Raphael, you have any last words?
Appreciate you guys letting me have on, like coming up here and meeting you guys. And Pam, I'm sorry you got to see my ugly face, but you know what I mean.
I'm happy
Shake
to
Money,
see your face.
I've been following Shake Money for a while, you know what I mean? And then you know what I mean. I just love everything Dolphins, you know what I mean. That's all. I come on here. I appreciate you guys not yelling or saying I'm a fucking idiot because of my views, you know what I mean?
No, we
not
all
all you
learned
guys
to-
may not agree with my views, you know, and I may not agree with you, you know what I mean? And I'm not gonna
But
sit
we
there and
all
start
learned to
labeling you
agree
guys.
to disagree.
Yeah.
And just
Hey,
so you
we
know,
say it
Raphael,
behind your
my
back,
best friend- my
Raphael.
best
We just
friend
say
lives
it
in
behind your
Tucson.
back.
That's what's great about this platform, you know what I mean? I just want to say thank you guys, you know what I mean? Like, even if I don't come up, you know what I mean? I'll be spamming you guys in the chat, or if
No,
not,
I
you know what I mean?
know.
I'm always gonna be there, and I appreciate you guys, you know what I mean? And you guys' views.
Hey man, I
We
tell
love
you
you,
what,
Raphael.
Raphael, that goes double for me. I appreciate you because, like you said, when I do in the blender, when I do, which by the way is coming back after the Super Bowl, whatever I do, I see you in the chat, and you don't know how much that means to me, bro.
Oh
And I
yeah,
really
he's
appreciate
always
you.
there.
Yeah, because I've chatted with
Raphael's a
Raphael many times.
super fan. He's always there. Yep.
Well,
He always-
Raphael, just so you know, I lived in Tucson for 3 years, and my best friend is a native of Tucson and still out there.
Or I'm a bro dick because of the old military injury, and I was a liability to my company. So I decided to come back from here, from California, and try to retire out here. You know what I mean? Because it's cheaper the living. Both of my sons are like in college right now at Fresno State right now, so in Cali.
Oh,
Good
nice.
for them. Okay, Miss Pam, any last words?
I love you guys. I love the Dolphins. So
And
happy to be
Get rid
here.
of the refs.
Get rid of the red. No, I'm going to do more than get rid of them. There's going to be some hell to pay. They wish I'd just get rid of them. There'd be so much more going on.
Well, Miss Pam, don't use no chokeholds. Okay. Don't use no chokeholds.
No, that'd be too sweet. They'd like that too much. Oh, but I love you guys, and
tell your husband I said hello also.
I will, my brother. I certainly will.
Tell him hi, Miss Pam.
I certainly will. And peace, love, and fins up to you guys. Thanks.
Miss Pam.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Polk, last words?
Like I said, a Dolphin for life. And regardless of the ups and downs, that's my team. I sweat bleeding for the Miami Dolphins. So at the end of the day, like I said, we don't know what's going to happen with the season coming up. We can be all down or we can be all up, but like I said, it's up to the franchise and up to the players to do what they got to do to take us to the promised land. So let's go Dolphins. And thanks for having me on the show, Papa Paul, Dolphin winners.
You know you're always welcome, Mr. Paul.
And Papa Paul, real quick, you throw some chains and whips with those chokeholds, you could sign me in.
Yes, exactly.
I'm not falling for that, Shake Money. I'm not falling for it.
Oh, shit. Oh, man. Well, I'm like this, Papa Paul. I mean, to everybody on the panel, shout out to Lewis, welcome having Lewis on the show, Shake Money, Raphael, Miss Pam, Crazy Dolphin, aka Mr. Polk, and myself. It's always an honor and privilege to be with everybody, and thank everybody for watching and participating in the chat tonight. We do this. This is why we do this every week, so we can have people come on our platform every single week and actually feel like it's a safe haven for fans to sit there and actually speak what's on their minds. And this is exactly what we preach, and we practice what we preach. You know, everybody's
whether it's Dolphin fans or other fans from other teams, it doesn't matter. Everyone's welcome.
It doesn't matter.
I want to also, before we close it out, I want to sit there and wish Chris Barker and Ma Barker safe travels to Las Vegas as they are going to the Super Bowl, and he has a chance to be the ultimate NFL fan of the year. So I wish our fellow Miami Dolphin brother good luck. And listen, it's peace, love, and fins up for life, as it says at the bottom.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, everyone have a good night. Thank you for showing up, and we'll talk to y'all soon.
All right.
It's just another wonderful day in the Hollywood.